Hey, welcome to
Hi.
VIVA Physical Media.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Emily, and that was Louise,
Yeah.
my new dog. She's off to eat some trash in the stacks back there. So this is episode 27.
What? We made it.
27 Club.
That's a lot. Is that a thing?
27. Yeah, all the rock stars died at age 27.
Ah, shit.
Except
Well,
for our show.
Our show's gonna make it to 28.
Our show's gonna make
sure.
it. October's over.
Did you watch any good, any new horror things that stuck out for you? Any like?
Dude, I watched so many that it all became a blur, and like I couldn't even retain any information.
Like two? Like that were like new ones that you hadn't seen before that you were like.
I hadn't seen Devil's Backbone.
Oh, that's a great one.
And I saved that for last, and it was really great.
That's a good finisher.
It was really good. It was a good finisher. Yeah, because I watched a lot of just like throwaway ones, just all like, ugh. Like,
right.
I was like, am I sick of watching horror movies? And I kind of was for a little bit.
That's fair. I think that's okay. I think it's okay to get there. You watch horror movies like me too. We don't just watch horror movies at Halloween.
But when I didn't let myself watch anything else, so it was like kind of like, ah. What about, any stuck out for you?
I didn't watch a ton of new ones because I end up always showing Sophie ones I've seen.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like curating her horrors of October, so she hates me for a month.
Right,
she doesn't love horror movies, but she wants to watch them, and then I try to pick good ones, you know. So
what did she love that
the ones she liked this year that we watched, out of the ones we watched, which weren't a lot, but we watched, she loved The Blob. The 80s Blob.
That's so
and,
good.
She liked Audition, although she swears she's like, I'll never fucking watch that movie again. But she's like, but it was good. We watched The Deadly Spawn and Beetlejuice on Halloween.
Oh, that's fun.
When we were carving pumpkins with my friend, we watched Addams Family Values, which I hadn't seen in years, and that movie is hilarious.
That's even like a Thanksgiving movie too.
It's, you know what's funny though?
It's not, it's a summer camp movie.
It's a summer camp movie. Oh my God. And they do a Thanksgiving play at the summer camp. It's fucking weird.
As soon as you said that, I was like, you're right.
No, because I said that when it came on. I was like, this is actually, you guys, this is actually a Thanksgiving movie. And then they're like, summer camp. And I'm like, wait, what? And then they're like, Thanksgiving play. And I'm like, what is wrong with this movie?
It's a good one. I haven't seen it in a few years.
It's really funny.
Maybe I'll pop that on. It's still a Thanksgiving movie.
It's really
for me,
funny.
So I'll just keep it that way.
It's really good. But they're spooky and they're ooky and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it counts as a Halloween pick too, you know, just because they're a creepy, weird family. One of the creepy things about the Addams Family is how in love Gomez and Morticia is.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that
there's no
like
ugh, my wife, like my old ball and chain.
They're
it's
like
they're
madly
actually
in love with
madly,
each other,
passionately in
which
love.
is like one of the things that separates them from the normals in the town, which I think is hilarious. But now Sophie says we have to watch rom-coms for November, so.
Okay, well then I guess I better ramp up my raunch. Thank you guys, everyone who commented about the raunch versus rom segment. I came out the clear winner with my raunch com.
Yeah. Well,
I'm feeling good about it. Are you gonna eat this notebook too? I have a new notebook, you guys, because I ran out of pages, and also she ate the other notebook.
Yeah. Some good stuff. I've seen some good stuff in theaters recently. Saw the French Dispatch.
Yep, I saw that too.
And Dune.
I saw Dune at home.
Dune was. I mean, both of those are for my money. Both of those are big screen movies. So if you're in a place where they're showing either or both of those movies, which I think is like everywhere right now, go see both of them on the big screen because both of them are like.
Especially French
Dune
Dispatch, though.
French Connection is like French Connection.
Also,
Dispatch.
if you can see French Connection on the big screen, go see it.
It's pretty good. French Dispatch is like just filled to every edge with stuff. Almost. But like
half of it is full screen too, which isn't.
Well, it's like switching. Yeah, it's like switching aspect ratios constantly.
Which he did it in Grand Budapest too, I think.
Yeah, but that was more formal because it was like denoted like different time periods, and this one is just sort of like. Not random, but just like whenever the fuck you want.
It works.
It totally works. And Dune is one of the best epic giant big
sprawling
things
desert.
Giant big things and tiny people movies I've seen in a long time in the theater, where it's just like a giant spaceship going boom, and then like little tiny people like walking out of it. And I was like, and lots of sand. I watched Nomadland last night.
For the first time?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it yet. It was great.
Oh, I watched Sorcerer. And I texted you about it because it was so fucking good. Yeah. I didn't know what it was about at all. I just knew the title, and then I was like, oh shit, this is like Wages of Fear.
It is a remake of Wages of Fear.
Which I had also watched kind of recently within the last year, but Sorcerer is just like so intense, like eyes glued to the screen. I recommend it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Great movie.
Do it.
We don't just like movies around here.
No, because guess what? Me and Kevin both know how to read.
What? That's crazy. So here we are with another movie book club. You go first.
Yeah, why not?
How about you go first?
I stumbled upon this book at Half Price Books recently, and I immediately knew it had to be mine. It is called Hollywood Dogs.
I mean, come on.
I couldn't leave it there. You guys think I could just leave it there? That's crazy. This is just your standard, but not so standard, coffee table book full of images of old Hollywood actors and actresses.
Is that Humphrey Bogart in...
Okay, so some of these are actors and actresses with their dogs. Some of them are dogs on set. What Kevin just said was Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. This was Harvey the Boxer was a wedding present to Humphrey and Lauren from the writer Louis Bromfield. And so here's this photo.
Wow.
Also, all these photos are like so well done and beautiful. I started bookmarking my favorites, but there's so many, so we're gonna quickly go by.
Yeah.
We got Shirley MacLaine and her boxer, lots of boxers, Caesar, and on the other side we have Elvis and a hound dog. It's an unnamed hound dog. Frances Farmer with her bull terrier Karl Marx, and Jane Mansfield with 2 of her chihuahuas.
Poor Frances Farmer.
I know.
Poor Jane Mansfield.
Yes. Betty Davis with her 2 dogs.
It looks like a 2-headed dog in that picture.
Her West Highland White Terriers. It doesn't say these ones' names. And then Ethel Merman with her collie puppy Toots. This is literally the best book I've ever bought. We have Anita Ekberg with a poodle. It doesn't say, it just says a poodle. Oh. What? And then Marilyn Monroe with Monroe's last dog, Math, a Maltese.
Math?
Math, M-A-F. Math. Beautiful women, beautiful dogs. We have Grace Kelly with her Weimaraner, don't know the name of it, sorry. And then Jack Lemmon with his Wire Fox Terrier, Duffy.
Of course Jack Lemmon has a terrier.
Oh, I realize I'm not showing you these, I'm sorry.
I'm looking, no, it's fine. It's
You'll edit this.
For the audience, yeah,
You'll see when you edit it.
I can look at this book after we've stopped filming, too.
Natalie Wood with her poodle, Morningstar, posing next to a pool. So we got some dachshunds on this page. What? William Powell with his dachshund Jerry, a clever little dachshund, and Joan Crawford with her dachshunds Baby, Bubchin, and Schmelzy.
Okay.
Maya Lupino and Lewis Hayward with their German Shepherd Duchess, and Buster Keaton with his St. Bernard Elmer. Clara Bow and her Chow Chow?
Yep.
No name on this. And then Oliver Hardy and Stan Laurel with their little and large dogs on comically inappropriate sized leads. We got Joan Bennett with her Cocker Spaniel Bessie, and then Humphrey Bogart in the coolest photo I've ever seen with a Great Dane. No name Great Dane.
Whoa, he's about to do some. Look at that, it's like a man cave or something. Cool. It's like a den. That's a den with a warthog on the wall. And 2 tennis rackets.
And a framed photo of himself. Cover of this is Clark Gable.
God, look at that guy.
Yeah, if you find this book anywhere, Hollywood Dogs. It's put out by ACC Editions. Photographs from the John Coball Foundation is the word I'm trying to say. So that's Hollywood Dogs, and I think this is a great find for me. I'm really happy about it.
My book is, again, with the comic books, but this one is one that I can't read yet, but I'm learning in my never-ending quest to learn how to read French, is called La Nouvelle Hollywood. And it is a comic book that I got at a museum in France.
I love you just balance your beer on your knee like that. It's absolutely outrageous.
Well, anyway, I got this at a museum in Paris, and I picked it up, and it's a cool little book, but it's all about the new Hollywood. So it's like all it's like a comic book history of the 70s. Movie brats and stuff. I love the design, and the artwork is really cool. Reading something that I already kind of know something about helps a little when I'm like, oh, okay, I know. I've read 2 or 3 books about the 70s Hollywood, so I can like, you know, you pick up words and go, oh, I see what they're talking about. But yeah, anyway, and also I just thought it looked rad. It's cool.
It's a very attractive book.
So I don't have as much to say. I don't have, there's no pictures of dogs or whatever, but it does have a cool cover.
No, the art's really rad. Is it all by the same artist?
Yeah, it's written by Jean-Baptiste Thoré, and the artist is just one name, Bruno.
He only needs one name. He's very good.
Anyway, I mean, look at this page. You got Walking Tall on this side, and Dirty Harry, just a big giant gun and shit. Yeah, La Nouvelle Hollywood.
That's awesome. Read it.
Read it. And read it if you can read French.
If you can.
Yeah.
You go first, Kevin, this time.
Oh, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I think.
I was just going to go first, but then...
I think you can go first.
I mean, the order we have them in the bucket is me first, but I don't want... Did you want to go first?
No, I think you should go first, finally.
It's going to be 2 different things, but it's basically one thing.
Plus, this is basically like my pick, too, because it's my pick all the time. So, yeah.
And it is the brilliant comedy shorts of Stella. Also, they had a 1-season TV show, and it's David Wayne, Michael Showalter, and Michael Ian Black. Some of my favorite comedians from forever, because I was poisoned by The State when that was on MTV when I was in high school, and so they had 1 season of a TV show, you know. So, but it all started with these short films. And I'm going to put a picture up. I think we have a picture back there of when they were here in the store.
We have a picture of them when they were here in the store?
Yeah, they were performing over here.
In the back?
Yeah, it's up there somewhere and all that junk.
All right, I've worked here for 8 years and I've never seen that photo, so I'd love to be shown that.
This was also like the inspiration for a lot of the comedy stuff that I did too. Like, it was this and Garth Marenghi's Dark Place were kind of where we were jumping off of. And these are it's just straight up silliness. I don't know. It's like
so good.
It's like 3 dudes in suits doing, like, the Marx Brothers would be a good comparison, because it's like a delivery for silly ideas.
3 best friends.
3 best friends.
Going through life. Having a real rowdy dow.
It's actually a seasonally appropriate pick, because they shot a lot of them in the fall and winter, and the very first short on here is called Turkey Hunting.
Gobble, 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 gobble. No, I'll go low, you go high. Middle? Okay. Gobble, 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 gobble. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That's got a nice sound. Yeah.
I feel like explaining Stella to someone, or even like being like, watch this with me, it's like a very strange type of thing, because you're like, it sounds dumb to be like, I don't know if you'll get it, but it's like, I don't know if this humor is going to hit you in the way that I think it's so fucking funny.
Well, my friend and comedy partner of the last forever, Travis Vogt,
Travis, does he watch the show?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey.
Sometimes. We did show this to someone once, like another comedy friend of ours, and he was not having it. And he said a very flattering thing, which was like, I don't know about this stuff. You guys are funnier than this. And we were like, thank you very much. I can't believe how wrong you are, but thank you very much.
That's a great compliment.
That's a very sweet thing to say. You're wrong, but okay.
Rake my leaves.
We'll rake whatever you want if the money's right. Even the crabs out of your pubes.
But these guys made Wet Hot American Summer, one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Bearing the lead here, if you've never heard of Stella, these guys.
Yeah, sorry. I said
American
The State,
Summer.
but also Wet Hot American Summer. And all that, and also like worked on like Children's Hospital after this and stuff.
You'll recognize the faces in here from different, especially all their comedy friends and people who are featured in a lot of these shorts, as well as the TV shows. Like, you'll see some favorites. For sure.
And on the shorts too, these were all from between 97 and 2002, and some of them were stuff that they shot because they were trying to get like a pilot off the air on one of the comedy channels. A lot of them were just like, they were like, we're just doing this for our show, and they had a live show, so they would do like a live show and then show videos. You know, these videos would go with the live show. But they have a lot of like famous friends pop in, so like Sam Rockwell shows up in one, Bradley Cooper is in one playing a guy named
Bill Zabub. Bill Zabub. Bill Zabub. Bill Zabub.
He's the devil!
He's Satan!
It's a battle between good and evil!
That That one's called Raking Leaves. It's really good. Also, Julie Bowen from Modern Family is in that one, playing Mother Nature. Searching for Santa has Zach Galifianakis, and then also has a part where they suck Mrs. Santa's dick.
Did you guys know that I have a cock?
The best fucking thing.
And so these sketches also are, you know, inappropriate in ways.
There's some stuff now that you're like, oh, I don't know, but then you're like,
I think it's all pretty funny.
Which was better, us or the pizza?
The pizza. You guys. The pizza. You guys. The pizza.
The show is doesn't have as many dildos and stuff, but it does have like a lot of great guest appearances too. Jeannie Garofalo's in an episode. My favorite one is actually directly ripping off one of their shorts. Is directly has the turkey hunting one. Is when they go camping, and Tim Blake Nelson plays a mountain man that they inadvertently kill and eat, and he also plays a park ranger. Anyway. If you just want some absurd silliness, Stella, if you can find the shorts, I think a lot of these aren't online.
There's some stuff on YouTube,
but
that aren't on this, and then there's a lot of stuff on this that aren't anywhere online.
So like a lot of this stuff isn't even
rent it from
anywhere.
here, obviously.
So you can get it here, but I mean, I think they might still have these DVDs available, and the show, you know, get this too.
I need to get this one.
Two-disc set.
Bring some levity to this world with Stella.
Stella.
You guys see one? I got one. Shoot it. Shut down. I thought it was a turkey. Jesus, I swear to God. Call Marcus. Call Marcus. And then you can. Who's Marcus? I know. I don't even know. Who the fuck is Marcus?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about a movie called Old Enough. And this is a really great coming-of-age movie from 1984 by Marisa Silver. She directed a few other movies, some like thrillers, some teen movies, but this is her first movie and the only one she wrote and directed. So this takes place in New York, and it's a coming-of-age movie that follows two young girls. One is 12-year-old Lonnie, who is a wealthy and kind of sheltered rich girl who lives in like what are they called, like brownstone apartments, like the really fancy ones in New York. And then she meets up with the more rebellious and a couple years older, more lower class girl, Karen, played by Rainbow Harvest of Mirror Mirror fame. Mirror Mirror is a good 90s supernatural movie. I showed it on the secret Twitch screening recently, so if you watch that, that's who I'm talking about.
So can I come in or what? Why? I don't know.
So this takes place over one summer where they kind of become friends despite their differences, and they kind of like teach each other the different ways of life. So like Karen's like, this is how you shoplift in the store, and then the other girl's like, here's my rich fucking house. And they kind of become friends despite their differences, and they both become fascinated on this one woman who moves into the apartment complex that Karen lives in.
Her pants are so tight. Yeah, she has to lie down and put them on.
Who's this older, like glamorous, like mid-30s lady who like has a bunch of fancy clothes and always has like men up in her apartment and everything. So they both kind of have this fascination about her over this one summer. There's no like big story or like plot line. It's just kind of how these two girls connect over one summer before school starts again. And I love these kind of coming of age movies. It's very, I don't know, it's super meaningful and very tender and also really real. And I'd never even heard of this before recently. It's also Alyssa Milano's first role.
You're dead. No, you're not.
As the younger sister.
Like,
yeah.
Danny Aiello's in it too.
Yeah. And this actually won the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance in 1984.
Oh, wow.
It's one of those things where I was like reading and I was like, maybe I've seen this just because I've seen like, I try to see all these kind of like, you know, teen girl friendship movies, but I hadn't seen it, and it was very refreshing. This is another one of my answers. See,
let's get a Blu-ray of that Fun City edition.
This show
to go and be a good double feature with Jeremy.
I bet it would, which I still haven't seen.
Yeah.
I should watch it
this
month, probably.
I should watch this month.
Do it.
All right.
It's a really good one. I recommend it.
So I cheated a little, and I'm going to talk about 2 movies this time, but they're by the same director, and I want to do a spotlight on the director Roy Andersson. So I'm going to talk about his first movie, Swedish Love Story. And not his first movie, but his 4th movie called You the Living. If you watch these 2 back to back and you didn't know they were made by the same guy, you wouldn't know they were made by the same guy. Swedish Love Story was made in it was like from 1969, and it's a coming of age story about these 2 young kids in Sweden. They're sort of flirting and falling in love. And you know, it's called a love story in like other parts of Europe. It's in English-speaking places where it's called a Swedish love story. Because I think it's because it came over here and it was like the movie Love Story. It was a huge thing, and so they couldn't just have they couldn't import another movie. I don't even know if it ever played in the United States, but in England it played as a Swedish love story, and all the DVDs of it are all PAL Code 2. I think this one's from Sweden. The one I own is from England. It would also be a good double feature with like Jeremy or this one, where it's like kind of just that same kind of milieu, where it's like very natural, very inspired by like this is very inspired by like a French New Wave. Czech New Wave was his big inspiration at the time.
Love it, love all of it.
But it's very naturalistic. These 2 very like natural performances by these 2 kids, and it's contrasted by both of their parents, the different couples that are the parents, and like sort of the disillusionment of the different marriages, and like
this definitely sounds like it'd be a good pair with My Old Enough that I just talked about.
Sort of feels almost like it's happening in front of you, real. In contrast, You the Living, which is the 2nd movie he made in this style, he made another movie after A Love Story that was a huge financial and critical bomb. This one was like a huge success, and like the 2nd movie he made was not. And he then went into the wilderness and made shorts, and he worked in commercials for a while. And like just look up compilations of his commercials, and you kind of see like it's like a lot. It's these very droll, dry, like funny commercials that he did for years, and he came back with a movie called Songs from the Second Floor, and then he continued that style into this one, You the Living, and these are it's basically like each scene is played out in a single shot. You could it's like a snapshot that's kind of moving around or whatever, but it's again very like droll, ironic, dry humor. Everybody has this pale makeup on. It's almost like everybody in it is like a zombie. It's like not the post-apocalypse, but it's like, you know, everybody's sort of sad, and but in a funny way.
Hey.
The other thing about these movies, and he's made 2 others since this, called A Pigeon Sitting on something. It's a long title. And then the newer one that I haven't seen called About Endlessness, and they're sort of in the same style, but he builds these sets, and so everything you see in there, you'll see like a city street.
It's like handcrafted.
It's a fucking set.
That's amazing. From Uncut, we have Monty Python meets Ingmar Bergman. Melancholy, hilarious, and utterly unique.
There you go.
And then Ebert says, a film like nobody else has ever made. Flawless, 4 stars, highest rating.
Yeah, and I agree with Roger Ebert. One of the standout in this one, there's not a plot, but there's certain characters that pop up again here and there, and it kind of thematically ties together. And one thing will go into another sometimes. There's a girl who's in love with this rock guitarist, this rock singer throughout it, and at one point she talks about this dream she had where they had gotten married, and then it cuts to their honeymoon suite, and they're in this room and he's playing his guitar, and then there's a window, and as you watch it, like, you see stuff is moving in the background, and you're like, oh, the apartment they're in, the room they're in, is like moving, and it's like on tracks. know that like all this shit was done on a stage, and there's not like it's not like a rear projection or anything.
Bringing it back to French Dispatch that we both just watched with those kind of intricate sets and different pieces.
Exactly. Like, and just like
so impressive all the time.
That kind of thing where like a part of a set. I mean, that's more like this is more like it's still hidden. Yeah. Like you wouldn't know that a lot of this are sets or whatever. In French Dispatch, like when they move a part of the set, you're kind of like, oh, I know what's going on here.
Right. But
it's handmade, and it's like this real like, oh, there's a physical craft to it.
Yeah, it's a whole nother layer of the craft of filmmaking, which is always so beautiful.
Absolutely. So anyway, You the Living and I'll put it on the floor.
Swedish Love Story.
Swedish Love Story. 2 movies by the same director that you wouldn't know unless you know.
And now you know.
And now you know.
All right, happy Noirvember, you guys. I don't do as much like strict, like in October I was very strictly like only horror movies. And in November I do kind of enjoy the noir theme, but I am also like, I'll watch whatever. I don't need to restrict myself every month of the year, you guys. But November I usually try to do some noir, some neo-noir, and also I really like dipping into the melodramas.
Ooh.
So that might be coming up in the future. But this pick right now is an early noir, 1941. I Wake Up Screaming. And this is directed by H. Bruce Humberstone, which sounds like I made it up, but it's actually this guy's name. Based on a novel by an author named Steve Fisher. This sports writer, who also is kind of infamous for like seducing chicks and like making them into movie stars and like models and stuff. Like he gets them into the industry and then he ends up being their manager and getting money. He's at a diner one night with his friends and they're like, in typical like She's All That fashion, they're like, I bet you can't turn this like waitress into a big movie star. And he's like, I totally bet I can.
You know, I bet I can take that girl inside of 6 months, put her on top of the ladder.
He ends up like making this woman into an actual like super famous movie star and model, and they have an on-again, off-again romance. And then she's like, I have to break our contract because these Hollywood execs really want me. And he gets really mad at her, and then the next morning, her sister, played by Betty Grable, goes to her apartment and finds her dead with the manager in the room. And he's like, I don't know what happened, I just got here.
I just came in, just a second.
Is she?
Extra, read all about it. Fly model murdered. Slayer still at large. Read all about it. Yes, sir.
And so the rest of the movie kind of plays out to try to figure out who killed this up-and-coming rising star. Everyone thinks it was the manager because he had the most to lose. Meanwhile, Betty Grable is kind of convinced of his innocence and they start falling in love. At the same time, there's an obsessed detective played by Laird Krieger. He's absolutely amazing. I guess he died really young. He died at like 32, so he must be only like 31 or 30 in this movie. And he's just like kind of like a hulking, like menacing presence who kind of shows up and is just like, I know you fucking did it. Like, and I'll get you someday. But like, he's like, I am so certain you did it. And just one day, like he shows up in the guy's house in the middle of the night one time, just sitting in the chair at the end of his bed.
First time I ever had a bad dream with my eyes open. What do you want?
Someday you're gonna talk in your sleep. When that day comes, I want to be around.
The most famous thing that guy, the actor, is known for is the movie The Lodger, which I just rented as well, so I'll let you guys know how that is. But he steals the show as this like obsessed detective. Meanwhile, while Betty Grable and the guy who plays the manager, Victor.
Sure.
Is you say it as Mature? Okay.
Victor Mature.
Do you tell that to every girl you bring down here?
So help me, I never brought a girl here in my life.
Hi, Frankie.
Hello.
Victor Mature and...
Here's at the bottom here. Victor Mature and His boxer. Love the boxers, everyone. I have too many books going on. Oh, wait. This was just him in a boxer in an advertisement for dog food. But this is the guy in the movie I'm talking about.
Even better.
He's in the book, though. Right. So he's trying to, like, defend himself and be like, I am totally innocent. I just found her this way. And her sister, who was, like, more of, like, the homebody, more, like, bookish one, even though it's Betty Grable and she's beautiful, you know, was like, I need to find out who killed my sister, but also I don't think it was this guy because I'm also falling in love with him. And it's that kind of classic, like, whodunit noir. Right. There's some really beautiful, like, shadowy lighting and, like,
I haven't seen those.
All the typical things that you'll find in noir, but also just, like, a really tense crime thriller as well.
Cool. Written by the guy who wrote Pick Up on South Street, which is one of the best Sam Fuller movies.
There you go. Straight from the horse's mouth. Check out I Wake Up Screaming if you are in need for some more noir recommendations.
Put your shoes on, sister.
All right, we don't have a little dog intro, do we?
No, but we're in the dog zone.
We're in the dog zone. Get in the zone. Doggo zone.
Woof, woof.
Like AutoZone.
Yeah.
Like the commercial.
I like it. Cool. I like it.
Okay, we're here. We're ready to talk about dog movies. The one that we are talking about today is 1975's A Boy and His Dog, directed by L.Q. Jones.
A cautious young fellow named Lodge had seatbelts installed in his Dodge. When his date was strapped in, he committed a sin without even leaving the garage. That's clever, isn't it?
Yeah, as it says on an R-rated, rather kinky tale of survival.
Hate it. I hate that description. Did you know that L.Q. Jones, that's not his real name, but the guy is mostly an actor.
Yep.
One of his first roles.
He's in like hundreds of westerns.
Oh, he's in so many movies. A lot of Peck and Pop. Apparently, L.Q. Jones is the name of one of his characters in one of his first roles, and then he just liked that name.
He took
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's a fun fella. There's a great feature on here where him and Harlan Ellison, the author of the short story or novella that it's based on, chat about the movie, which is very funny because they argue a little and they haven't seen each other in years, but it's like a couple of old men in a kitchen, like sort of arguing and then coming around going, but we're whatever. We're all old now and who cares?
This guy only directed one other movie and it was called The Devil's Bedroom.
I didn't see that one.
I didn't either. I don't think we need to.
I have seen this one a couple times though.
This is my first time. This takes place in a post-World War IV, 2024. Yeah. So when that was made, it sounded really far away. That is only less than like 3 years away from us right now.
Pretty soon, pretty close to 2 years away.
Pretty close to 2 years away.
This is what the world will look like in 2 years, is this movie. It's a post-apocalyptic wasteland. A boy named Vic, played by Don Johnson.
Played by like a late 20s Don Johnson, but he's also supposed to be like 17.
Yeah, but he looks really young.
He does. He pulls it off.
Don Johnson is a kid trying to survive in the wasteland, and he has a dog named Blood.
Who's a shaggy dog.
The shaggy dog. Great dog, too.
Great dog. Shaggy dog, and his name's Blood, and they communicate telepathically. Sometimes Vic talks out loud to the dog, but he always hears them telepathically. Other times they just speak with their minds.
Right? Whatever you say.
Blood's like, his vibe is like he's like kind of like a smarty pants intellectual. Like,
he knows a lot. Like he knows everything. A lot,
especially about just the history. Mm-hmm. And he's the one who's teaching Vic, because Vic, you can kind of assume that he grew up. Education's not on the forefront of everyone's mind in this like survivalist post-apocalyptic. So it's like you see like scenes where he's like quizzing him on the presidents and like on history and stuff like that. So teaching him how to read. And Blood can, smell better and hear better because he's a dog. He's a dog.
And so he smells, people that are trying to get him, or also more often than not females.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
I just wanted to get to that.
Blood, apparently, when he was given the ability to speak, he lost the ability to forage for his own food. So he has Vic get him food, but he sniffs out females for Vic to like try to have sex with or whatever.
Right.
Because all Vic wants to do is like eat food, have sex, and survive, and like go watch pornos at the at the turf.
When they have like there's every once in a while someone has old films. It's called the turf.
Yeah, it's called the turf. Yeah. It's pretty fucking cool. It's like
the porno they made. The porno in the movie is actually pretty funny because it's one that they made for the movie clearly, and it's kind of like it's kind of goofy.
So it's like a junkyard where there's all these different like makeshift like theater seats, and then it's like there's like bonfires and like garbage like bins, and then there's just like old like kind of smut films and a little horror, like there's a lot of screaming and stuff, and then they have popcorn, which is like the big thing.
Yeah, well,
and you pay for it with food.
Blood wants the popcorn.
Blood wants the popcorn.
That's a deal breaker at some point. The world that takes place in it I really like because it's just presented to you. I think that this movie's really good at the storytelling. There's no exposition. Nobody's sitting.
You don't know why the world is how it is.
Nobody's explaining what's going on. It's very much like, I think you could watch. This would be, speaking of double features from our Q&A. This would be a good double feature with like Fury Road.
Oh, completely.
Or like any of them. I mean, I think George Miller saw this and was like, "Oh, we could do that."
They mentioned that, yeah.
You know,
it's absolutely.
But I think this would be an even better double feature with Fury Road than it would be with the earlier Mad Max films because of some of the thematic stuff that's going on with the weird. Class, the society, different societies and stuff.
There's this like brutish guy who has a bunch of like boy slaves, and his name's Fellini. And he just makes these kids like dig, because apparently underground there's like riches and food and like old houses and stuff like that.
Well,
because they built on top or whatever.
Yeah, everything like that's all this desert is on top of like old.
So you see this guy just like
cities.
Drinking peach juice out of like a can and wearing these like crazy pajama bottoms, like just looking crazy. Blood always talks to Vic about this kind of mysterious top of the world, because I talk about things being below world and top of world. Paradise called Over the Hill, and they want to go there.
I mean, it's like honestly,
they're surviving.
They're just surviving, and like they're just kind of
they steal shit from Fellini, and Fellini, the Fellini guy's kind of like, oh, all my boy slaves, like, you guys suck. This guy has guts. He's like, he has real bravery. He's coming and stealing from me.
It's funny too because it's directed by a guy who was in like written and directed by a guy who was in a ton of westerns, and you think like that's weird for him to do it like a sci-fi thing, but it really plays out. It really feels like a western.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
It feels like a western, but in a lot of ways.
Eventually,
at the theater,
they find a girl.
Blood's like, there's a girl here.
This would be better. Now what?
Rover pack, 23 strong. They got the building surrounded.
Great.
He goes down and finds her because she's in this like underground bunker that belongs to the Screamers, which we never see. Mm-hmm. And they're just supposed to be, and even
but apparently they're terrifying.
Even when she asked Vic about him, he's like, I've never seen him either. I just know you don't want to get caught by them.
Right.
They make like wailing noises and they're scary.
Yeah.
So
Screamers play a bigger part in the actual novella.
Oh yeah. She's like into him and into his like honestly like pretty rapey ways, and she's like, cool, like let's hang out. And then they're like, wait, we have to get out of this bunker because these like raiders are coming and they're violent and they're gonna fucking kill us. And the dog Blood is like, okay guys, like come on, let's get out of here. And
there's raiders and then the Screamers show up.
And
right?
then we don't see them.
But they have a fight with these other guys and then the Screamers show up and kill off all the other guys.
Oh,
right. Because there's the bad guy. There's the bad guys who are the Screamers because the dog's like fighting a bunch of them. Oh. That's how he gets like covered in blood and stuff. Then this girl like knocks Vic out and then disappears, and she's like from the underground world.
And this is after they've like had sex a few times, and she's like, "You're really."
She's had sex with him. Like she like keeps having.
Yeah,
sex
and he's
with
like,
him.
"Well, I've never met a girl like you. Like wanted to have sex." She leaves, and Blood's like, "I told you she would leave. Like, why are you getting your head like wrapped up in this girl?" And he's like, "Well, fuck, I'm gonna go after her." And so he goes down into the Down Under is what it's called. And it's a underground civilization that they call Topeka after Topeka, Kansas, that they built it over.
So long, partner.
And in this underground, it's like always dark because it's underground, obviously. So at multiple points, they're like, it's 10 a.m. And you're like, oh, it's pitch black. Yeah. Everyone has like face paint on. Everyone's dressed very like old Americana, like pre-war kind of nuclear family, almost like 40s, 50s vibe almost. Yeah. There's always like on the loudspeaker tips and tricks. Like, what is it? I wrote down one. We are never so unhappy or so happy as we imagine. Another helpful hint for living from the committee. All these helpful hints for living. And the committee is like their government that
three people
that decide if you have a bad attitude and you won't conform, they'll send you to the farm.
It's Jason Robards, and I don't remember the other two actors, but I recognize them as
Jason Robards is the dying dad of Julianne Moore in Magnolia.
Jason Robards is a super famous actor.
What else is he in?
He's in so many things. He's Jason fucking Robards.
I looked at his thing. I saw Magnolia and I was like, okay, what is he in that?
He's in a million things.
That's probably why
he's in a million things.
Give me two other ones.
The movie Parenthood.
Never seen it.
What? You've never seen the movie Parenthood?
No.
Oh, it's great. The Ballad of Cable Hogue.
Never seen it.
He's just a guy who's been in a ton of things. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Looks like I have to refresh myself on the Robard train.
But I mean, one of his best performances is his last performance in Magnolia. He died shortly after that movie was made. My review for this movie, when I watched it the other day, was the underground community in this is exactly what the MAGA crowd is dreaming of. A bunch of white people play acting a bizarre spectacle of an America that never existed in the first place.
Somehow being even more white than they already are.
Exactly, yeah. They paint themselves in white face paint, but are also already white people.
So during this time, Blood, the dog, couldn't go under for some reason. He's super injured.
Well, he's injured from their fight.
But also Quilla was like, he wouldn't fit in under there. He shouldn't come under.
Right, I don't think they have dogs down there.
They do, because there's that one dog that Vic tries to unleash.
Oh, that's right.
Vic sees this dog and he's like, why are you on a leash? He tries to talk to him and nothing happens, and he's like, he angrily unleashes this dog.
It's funny because when Vic's down there, he's like an animal compared to everybody, because everybody else is being very
so they like wash
proper.
him and then they dress him up in this like overalls and like flannel and then they take him before the committee and they're like, actually, Vic, the reason you're here is because Quilla went and seduced you to bring you down here because we need you to basically get all of our women pregnant because since we've been living down here, our men can't inseminate correctly or whatever. He's like, fuck yeah. Because all I want to do is have sex with ladies.
This is great. This is great. But then it cuts to him hooked up to a machine where they're just like pumping sperm out of him.
Sucking out the sperm with a machine.
I hereby pronounce you husband and wife, according to the ordinances and the laws of the state of Topeka.
Which is not what he wanted.
Which is not what he wants. Which is not what anyone wants.
No, nobody wants that.
And he's like, they're having all these women come in and get married in the room.
And then they give them like a vial of his sperm.
Right. And they're like, there you go. And apparently once he's inseminated 35 women, then they're going to kill him. And so Quilla comes in and busts him out of there.
Well, she kind of likes him, but also she wants to start a revolution. And she wants to overthrow, like, the committee. The committee. That doesn't really go very far. She tries to get him to do it, and he's like, I just want to leave. I just want to get out of here and get back to Blood.
And she's like, no, you got to kill these people or else I'm going to be sent to the farm. You got to kill... And the big guy that comes and kills them or tries to kill them, his name's Michael, and he's an android.
Turns out he's a robot.
Because they keep trying to shoot him, and she's like, why won't you shoot him? And then he eventually, like, sparks and everything.
Yeah, it's great.
And then one of the guys is just like...
Jason Robards goes...
Get another Michael out of the warehouse. This time, he's sure the engineering department wipes that smile off his face.
I love that line. That was so good.
You know why it's good? Because it's delivered by classic famous actor Jason Robards, who's
the dying dad of Julianne Moore in Magnolia.
He's not her dad, he's her husband.
Oh yeah.
He's her husband.
Cut all of it. Cut all of that.
I'm not cutting any of it.
Cut all of it.
None of it's getting cut.
Anyways, then basically Vic escapes with Quilla.
Yeah.
Quilla is like...
Because she's like, I'm going to go to the farm. She's like, ooh. Because at first she's like, I'm going to overthrow this government. And then they're like, you're going to the farm. We're going to kill you. And she's like, let's just go.
They go up and they're like, oh, Blood's probably already making it over the hill. And then they realize Blood is just dying, waiting for them outside of the entrance, which was really sad. Because he's been starving because he can't forage for food on his own.
I can't make it. I'm not going to make it.
How long has it been since you ate?
Well, I grabbed a lizard yesterday. It was the day before. I can't seem to remember it. Funny.
Well, we gotta leg it into town and get you something to eat fast.
No.
And he's like, I just need some food. And then she's like, looks like he's gonna die. So we should probably go. And, so let's just go. It's sad that he's gonna die, but let's just leave. And
if you love me, you'll come on too.
Vic's like, oh, well, but he just needs some food. And, you know, then it cuts to...
And then it cuts to them. It cuts to them, like, after they've eaten a big meal and then they're walking. And I'm sorry, I didn't understand the subtext of this until I read the Wikipedia.
Oh, really?
I didn't realize that they ate her.
Oh, yeah, they ate her.
And then I realized, and then it made more sense why he was like, she had spectacular taste or whatever.
There's like the spit where it's like the the last line of the movie, which Harlan Ellison allegedly hated. Well, I'd say she certainly had marvelous judgment, Albert, if not particularly good taste. And then he laughs. And then Ellison referred to it as moronic, hateful, chauvinist last line, which I despise.
I mean, a lot of this movie was a lot of like hateful chauvinist.
You know, and but the last line of the novella. Let's see, it says, the novella ends with Vic remembering her question, as blood eats, do you know what love is? It includes, sure I know, a boy loves his dog. That is a much better. That is a much better final line. Although I do think it's funny. I mean, the gag about taste is like,
it's kind of funny.
It's tasteless. It's tasteless.
I don't know. I just didn't get it right away. It was a fine movie. I thought it was definitely interesting.
One of those movies that is a cult classic for a reason, because it's like a weird movie that is not going to work for everybody. It's a weird, bizarre post-apocalypse Western comedy satire.
It is. It's all over the place. Know? It's very interesting. There's a lot of like weird, unique stuff going on. I didn't like any of the characters, which is kind of what bothered. Which
you didn't like Blood even?
No.
But what about the performance by Tiger? Who's the dog?
Okay, Tiger's great. So Tiger is the dog that played Blood. Apparently he understood 50 to 60 words and was just like super intelligent and smart, and like they trained him really, really well. The director wanted to adopt him and they wouldn't let him, and he's like, I'll name your price, and they just wouldn't let him, and then Tiger died a couple years later. And then the director went to his funeral and cried for 3 days or something. It's a good dog that you almost like don't even realize it's a dog after a while.
That's the thing, it's such a good performance by this dog, because the dog, I mean, there's a voiceover, right? That's a voiceover from the guy. But then also the way the dog is acting is so natural that it sort of blends into the, like, yeah, this dog is here.
Yeah. I really liked the underground, creepy, kind of Twilight Zone-y vibe of the second half of the movie. I'm happy I saw it, though, because I've always kind of been curious about this movie.
You know, now people make movies that are like instant cult classics. You know, people make movies that are meant to be like this, and this is a movie that just is like it is, you know? I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, now people make a movie that's like, what if there was this guy and he had a psychic dog that they talked to each other, and then they went to this underground
instead of it just like, oh yeah, this is a movie, but also, yeah, there is a psychic dog.
That's kind of
not what it's about.
The movie itself, just the way it plays out, is just sort of like, well, here's what happens in this story.
And also, I'm not going to give you a bunch of context for like why it's here and why it's happening, or like,
which I love.
Like, we're not getting a fucking Vic origin story. All right, should we give it some pause?
We should give it some pause.
Out of 4 paws, I give it 2 paws.
Okay. Out of 4 dog paws, out of 4 paws for this, I give it 3. 3 paws up. I give it 3 paws up.
Good job,
I like
Louise.
it a little more than you. Thanks, Louise.
Good job, thank you.
So that's A Boy and His Dog.
So
Fucking
this
weird
cover
movie.
is fucking cool.
Yeah, a fucking weird movie. Just a strange thing that, you know, they don't make them like this. They never made them like that before.
Next movie we're doing is an older film.
Much older.
Much older. Over 100 years older.
Wow.
Or old than we are.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And it is Charlie Chaplin's A Dog's Life. Which comes on the same disc as The Kid. So we're gonna check out some black and white silent pups.
That's right.
Louise, you ready for this?
You prepared for that?
Oh my gosh.
I want popcorn.
All right, so
we did it. We survived the post-apocalypse of Boy and His Dog.
We're not gonna be part of the 27 Club. You guys, look at this dog.
Look at this dog.
Right? Right?
You guys look at this dog, but also while you're at it, look at our YouTube page and look at the Art House of the Fart House. You know, if you're so inclined.
That was a good transition.
Right?
That was good. Check out all that Scarecrow is doing. Scarecrow Radio podcast, Soundtrack Cinema. Check out our Letterboxd list of all the movies we've talked about here.
If you want to get a hold of us, VIVA@scarecrow.com. If you want to send us fan art or real life things or swing
or a request for a double feature, give us one movie, we'll pair it.
But if you want to give us stuff in real life, 5030 Roosevelt Way Northeast, Seattle, Washington, 98105.
98105.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to give us a little short recommendation for something you like recently, we're gonna probably do some more. Don't take our word for it. So just film yourself doing a little, just a little review for what you like. The holiday season is fast approaching.
Yeah, we're coming up on Dogsmas pretty soon, so.
So I don't know. Do with that what you will. And with that.
And.
Would that it were.
Would that it were. Viva Physical Media.
Viva Physical Media. Goodbye.
So long, partner.